As the main body of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, China's Tibet is known as the roof of the world. Many rivers in China and even in Asia originate from here. In a sense, this is a place where shifts in the climate of the Northern Hemisphere are initiated and regulated. Over 1,000 years of feudal serfdom was a time of darkness for this land, bringing great sufferings to the people. Since its peaceful liberation, Tibet has undergone the period of democratic reform, the establishment of the autonomous region, and reform and opening up, and is now forging ahead in the new era. In merely 7 decades, Tibet has achieved what would normally take 1,000 years. The CPC Central Committee has all along attached great importance to Tibet-related work and deeply cared for the people in Tibet. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in particular, General Secretary Xi Jinping has elevated Tibet's strategic position in the overall work of the party and the country to an unprecedented level, and put forward the party's guidelines for governing Tibet in the new era. All-round progress and historic achievements have been made in all endeavors in Tibet. Tibet was once the only place in China which had contiguous poor areas at the provincial level. By the end of 2019, 628,000 registered poor people in all the 74 poor counties in Tibet had been lifted out of poverty, marking the elimination of absolute poverty for the first time in the history of Tibet. On the 25th of June this year, the Lhasa-Ningchi section of the Sichuan-Tibet Railway started operation. Fuxing bullet trains have been clattering through the plateau ever since. With the support from the central government and assistance from people across the country, people in Tibet, together with people of all ethnic groups across China within the same great family of the country, have embarked on a bright path of unity, progress, and development. Infrastructure connectivity has become a reality, and the GDP exceeded 190 billion yuan in 2020. The agricultural and livestock sectors with distinctive local features have seen strong momentum of development. Locally produced green industrial products have made inroads into markets outside the autonomous region. The tourism industry has achieved high-speed growth. The flows of labor, goods, information, and commodities converge on the plateau. Tibet is integrating itself deep into the Belt and Road Initiative and actively contributing to the Trans-Himalayan Economic Corridor. As an important shield for China's environmental security, Tibet has introduced the strictest ecological conservation system and made increasing investment in eco-environmental protection. It has adopted a holistic approach to protecting mountains, rivers, forests, farmlands, lakes, grasslands, deserts, and glaciers, and made enormous efforts for building a national demonstration region on ecological conservation. On this gigantic plateau, personnel working in ecological protection posts, such as grassland and forest rangers and river and lake chiefs, are joining forces with the whole society to faithfully carry out their duties each and every day to protect animals, plants, mountains, and rivers on this precious land. In Luqietang Wildlife Conservation Station of the Silincua National Natural Reserve, Sicheng Taching and his colleagues who have worked here for 12 years are taking care of around 7,000 non-migratory Tibetan antelopes. We conduct patrols every day to check whether each baby antelope is well taken care of, and will take those unattended to the Wild Animal Protection Center. Tibet's ecosystems are now generally stable. Environmental quality is improving. A green development model is in place, and eco-environmental rights and interests are better protected. Protected natural areas make up 38.75% of the region's land area. Forest coverage reaches 12.31%, and wetland area totals 6.529 million hectares. The number of wildlife species keeps increasing. The population of black-necked cranes has increased from less than 3,000 to more than 8,000, and that of Tibetan antelopes has grown to around 300,000. Water quality of rivers and lakes is fine, and 99% of days register good air quality. Clear waters and green mountains are invaluable assets. So is the snow-covered land. This concept is alive in people's hearts. Tibet has become one of the regions with the best eco-environment in the world. In today's Tibet, people of all ethnic groups enjoy the most preferential policies in the country on education, healthcare, employment, social security, and other matters closely linked to their lives. For over 200 years before the peaceful liberation, this plateau barely saw any growth in its population, which long remained at just a little over 1 million. Now Tibet's population has exceeded 3.64 million, of which over 3 million are of Tibetan ethnicity. The average life expectancy in Tibet has risen from 35.5 years in 1951 to today's 72.19 years. Endemics such as Hydatiid disease and Kashin-Bek disease, once rampant, have been eradicated and prevented for the first time in history. I am 82 years old now. I have never dreamed of such a happy life. In today's Tibet, everyone has the opportunity to realize their dreams and fulfill their potentials. After finishing her studies in the UK in 2015, Nijin returned to Tibet and started her own art studio under the Mass Entrepreneurship and Innovation campaign. Through her lens, she is communicating to the world the beauty of a new Tibet.
It's a great era for our generation. I was able to show the modern image of Tibet through my photography works to the Western world.
Daughters of the Same Mother, a song praising ethnic unity and sung by the famous singer Caidan Zhuoma, has been popular among people of all ethnic groups for more than 30 years. In this land where people of different ethnic groups have been living together in harmony since ancient times, ethnic unity is part of people's lives. Inter-ethnic marriages like Guojin Qings and communities like the Jaba Kangsang Yard, where people of different ethnicities help each other like brothers and sisters, are commonly found across Tibet. People from all across the country, including those who have come, stayed, and dedicated years of efforts to Tibet's development, are working together with officials and people of all ethnic groups here for a beautiful and happy Tibet. In today's Tibet, different religions and religious sects coexist in harmony. Buddhist activities are conducted smoothly, and monasteries and temples are in order. Freedom of religious belief is fully protected. All monasteries and temples have access to water, electricity, roads, and communication, and all monks and nuns are covered by the government's social security schemes. They are now enjoying better conditions for living and for practicing Buddhism. Rich in distinctive ethnic cultures, Tibet has received substantial support from the central government in the form of manpower, funding, and other resources to preserve and develop its fine traditional culture. Today, the Tibetan language is used extensively. Precious classics written in Tibetan are preserved and in use. Traditional customs, including Tibetan costumes and cuisine, and festivals like the Tibetan New Year are kept alive and developed. A lot of intangible cultural heritages such as Tibetan opera, Tibetan medicinal bathing, and tanka are protected and carried forward. Traditional music and dances such as guozhuang, xianzi, langma, duixie are widely popular among people in both urban and rural areas. Tibet, with a time-honored and distinctive culture, is exhibiting its glamour and charm to the world. The majestic Himalaya mountains have witnessed the sea change that has taken place in Tibet since its peaceful liberation, and the surging Yarlung Zangbo River has witnessed Tibet's development and advances in the new era.
我们56个民族是一个中华民族共同体，只要我们同心协力，只要我们搞好民族团结，只要我们跟着共产党走，只要我们坚持中国特色社会主义道路，我们一定能够如期实现中华民族伟大复兴辉煌的目标。
Let us work together for a beautiful and happy Tibet and for the realization of the Chinese dream of great national rejuvenation. Guided by Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, People of all ethnic groups in Tibet will fully implement the CPC guidelines for governing Tibet in the new era. They will ground their efforts in the new development stage, stay committed to the new development philosophy, and integrate Tibet's development into the new development paradigm of the nation. They will strive to make new advances in achieving durable stability and high-quality development in Tibet.
欢迎您到西藏来
Welcome to Tibet.
过年快乐陪伴，各是修。